I think the biggest thing that I was struggling with was trying to figure out how to make the whole thing go faster because
Mm.
I was just super impatient. I had just graduated college and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to just be a real estate investor. And I started listening to Cody and Christian from Multifamily Strategy.
Sure.
And I was like, how did this 21-year-old kid buy a 38 unit building? That's insane.
Right.
And that just kind of like broke my reality of what I thought I could do right now.
One of the things I thoroughly enjoy about our school community is I get to meet a lot of new people doing very cool things. We're going to have a conversation today about starting with small residential multifamily, think duplex, triplex, quad, and then making the big leap into commercial. Is it worth it? If it is, why? What have we seen? Both our guest Dylan and myself have made this transition. We've got lots of war stories, and we just want to talk about what works and why you might want to consider it. Dylan, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Dylan, can you even sign contracts? You look like you're 16.
I can. I started kind of young though. I was obsessed with real estate in college, so I got into it
Good
right
for
away.
you. Nice, nice. Well, do us a favor, introduce yourself to the audience, who you are, what you do, where you invest, and then we'll get into your story.
Awesome. Hey everyone, my name's Dylan Pettijohn. I'm a realtor in the Indianapolis area. I started out as an investor first, and I just made that transition here in March to just doing realtor, and I'm looking to start property management as well, but that's just something further down the road. But yeah,
Nice.
no, I love the Indianapolis area. It's been working. It seems like everybody likes the Midwest nowadays.
Yeah. It's one of those markets that still produces cash flow, still showing some growth. So lots of stuff we can talk about there. Getting your license, starting a PM firm. But let's start with your first acquisition. What was the first thing you bought?
So the first thing I bought was a three family, just in the town that I live in. I just found one that was going to be a pocket lit. Well, it was a pocket listing from my realtor at the time. And he was like, hey, this is coming to market tomorrow. Do you want to see it today and potentially
Hmm.
put in an offer right now? And I was absolutely.
Of course I do.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So what year was that? Just so we can get a timeline going.
2023.
All right, so 2023. Now, when you talk about I'm going to call it a triplex, a three family. Are we talking just like side by side, up, down, two in the front, one in the back? What are we talking?
Yeah, so it's a monster house. So you got two on the bottom and then one up top, and it's one in the front, one in the back, then one on top.
Okay. All right. So you got a stair in the back to the top unit, I'm guessing.
Hmm.
And then what's parking in it? Is there garage, carport, street? What is parking like?
So I do have street parking, but I also have a garage that's split down the middle. So one
Okay.
apartment gets one side, one apartment gets the other side, and then there's a big gravel parking area in case they need other cars to park there too.
Very, very cool. So what did a triplex cost roughly in 2023? I have no idea.
Yeah, you guys love this. $250,000 here in Indy.
Nice. So that's
Yeah.
like 83K, a little bit more than that, a door. Are these just big ones, twos? What are they?
They're all two bedroom, one baths with
Okay.
laundry. And the thing that I liked
Ooh,
is
with laundry.
people, yeah, the people that did this, like Monster House, like when they split it up and cut it into the different units, they actually stripped everything to the studs when they did it. So it's actually done well. It's not like some of the ones that I've
The
seen that
hack.
I will not be buying. Yeah.
I love that. So, and then what were rents in 23? Just when you picked it up, what was it renting for? Gross.
So the rents in total were 2,700, and I was thinking that I would be lucky to get that thing to $3,000 a month for
Okay.
renting each unit for $1,000 a month. That is not what ended up happening though.
All right. Well, what happened?
So most of my units are rented out at 1,200. One's at 1,265. So it was
Wow.
much more than I thought,
Good for
which
you.
helped with the taxes readjusting pretty quickly too.
Yeah. One of the things that new real estate investors need to know is when you buy something, you will be getting a tax reassessment. Yeah, that'll be coming down the pipeline for sure. So budget for that. Um, what else did you learn about that? So I'm guessing you just got 30-year conventional financing, 20% down, 25.
Yeah, yeah. I think the biggest thing that I learned from doing that one at the time was the fact that everybody will always talk about the rates, but I think it's more important to focus on the deal that you're working on itself because I have debt that's at 7.375%, but
Mhm.
it's still like a 14% cash on cash return.
There you go.
So if
Yep.
you can make something work in that environment, just focus on finding a better deal or making the thing work. And then when rates are, 5%, it's amazing.
Yeah, no, I think that's wise advice and something I've been saying for years. I've actually said openly, I wish rates were 10% because that would drive everybody away, and then I would get great deals because I don't pay list price. You know, I find the deal that works at 10%. And then you're right. I've been doing this for 20 years. There will be time in the next decade where you could refi that 10% rate or 7.3 to 5 something, and then the gravy just gets even nicer. So very, very cool. How have been vacancies, turnovers? You know, what's that like in Indy?
So on my first one, so I bought this property while I was still living at my parents' house because after I graduated college, I just stayed at home for 2 years stacking money. Well,
Good for
because
you.
I knew I wanted to do real estate. So when I bought this one, I got one of those Home Depot credit cards, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but if something's over $300, they'll finance it for 6 months at 0%, and over 1,000, a lot of the time it's 12 months at 0%.
Ooh,
So I
wow,
put most of the reno stuff on that. Then I did all of the work myself. So it was pretty cheap comparatively. It
nice.
was a lot of work, like 6 months of work to do 2 apartments. But I mean, I got it done for 30 grand, whereas I think it would have been about 60 if I hired all that stuff out for people to
Nice.
do.
So it sounds like 2 units were vacant for a while.
I was living in one of them
Oh, okay.
and then rehabbing it, and then the other one had somebody living there, but they had like multiple dogs. It was
Yeah.
their lease said they're not supposed to have dogs. They had aggressive dogs, and I actually got bit by those dogs like the first
Oh,
weekend I owned the property.
that's fun.
Yeah.
Get rid of that. You got to go, folks. You got to, yeah, watch that, folks. That don't give notice to get rid of the dogs or leave when that happens. That's for sure. So you had success in the triplex. It sounds like your next move was to what's called a commercial property. Why? I mean, you were already having success, 30-year debt, very comfortable. What turned you on to this commercial property?
So I think the biggest thing that I was struggling with was trying to figure out how to make the whole thing go faster because I was just super impatient. I had just graduated college and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to just be a real estate investor." And I started listening to Cody and Christian from Multifamily Strategy,
Sure.
and I was like, "How did this 21-year-old kid buy a 38 unit building? That's insane."
Right.
And that just kind of like broke my reality of what I thought I could do right now. Yeah, I was like, wow, so I can buy this. So I just started telling anybody and everybody in my town that knew me that I wanted to
Nice.
buy a commercial multifamily. And
Okay.
then somebody came back to me and I just said, hey, I just want to learn how you bought this property, following their strategy of like, just talk to the owner. If they
Yeah.
like you and they're ready to be done with it, they'll sell it to you.
Hmm.
Well, he decided that he wanted to sell it right then. I was thinking 2 years from now when I had more money. So I had to pull somebody in on this deal and make them an 80% owner of the property. And I just took the
Okay.
20% that I could do with the down payment I had at the time.
Okay.
But
All
it
right.
got me in the
So
game.
yeah, I got you. So it was 12 units. Did we say that already? 12 units,
Mhm.
right? So again, I always like just are these 12? Is this more of a traditional apartment building versus a big house, or what are we talking?
Yeah, so this was actually an apartment building that was built in the 70s. It was like the early 70s.
Okay.
A lot of the units looked like the 90s on the inside. So something we've been doing is LVP floors, brand new
Yep.
appliances, painting the cabinets and everything, making it look nice
Nice.
in there.
So again, is it 6 and 6, kind of 6 down the side, 6 in a courtyard in the middle, or what are we talking?
Yeah, so it's actually I'd call it a 2.5 story building because half of a story is underground and then it's just 3 stories up, and then there's two different like stacks of that. So it's like a stack
Okay.
of three, 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 and it's just
Got it.
one building.
Oh, okay. All right. Makes sense. And again, are these ones, twos? What'd you buy?
So I usually don't like getting one bedrooms. I try to avoid one bedrooms even with the duplexes just because it limits the pool of people that you can have move in there.
Mhm.
This one is 9 2 bedroom, one baths, and 3 1 bedroom, one baths. And I was
Mm.
okay with dealing with the one bedrooms in that
Yeah.
case just because it's not too much.
Yeah, I have a bunch of 1-1s and 2-1 apartment buildings. And what I've noticed, and I don't know if you're seeing this in your market, but 1-1s turn over faster, right?
That's
So again,
exactly it.
yeah, 1-1s turn over faster. Again, why is that? Because again, people get in relationships, they get pets, they move, they're more transitory. So 1 bedroom, one baths will turn over more. So make sure you budget for that. Like if you were gonna like I have a couple of buildings that are all ones, and those they just have more turnover. So make sure you budget for that. Sounds like this guy wanted to sell. Did you get creative like Cody and Christian and get some seller credits or seller financing? What the heck?
I tried. I tried. He was like, "Well, this is the first time I've met you guys, and I do like you guys, but I don't trust you to do like a seller carry." I was like, "That's fine." So I just talked to a local community bank.
Mhm.
I got them to do a 25-year instead of a 20-year. I didn't know that
Okay.
there was 30-year out right now. That's fantastic, but that made the numbers work a little bit better for us. And
Sure.
luckily, we closed in a time where it was back in September last year, so rates kind of took a
Oh,
hit
you
a
took a
little
little
bit.
dip. Yeah, yeah, I
Mhm.
remember. Yeah.
So we're in the sixes on that one. It's like 6.65. We were starting out in the seven, so it was like a difference of, the utility bill every month or not.
Exactly. So commercial in India, are you putting 25% down, 20, 30%? What'd you have to put down?
We had to put 25% down just to make
Yeah,
this one work because his
makes
rents
sense.
were so low,
Okay.
that the bank was like, "We understand this looks like a good deal, but you guys need to at least break even."
Yeah,
And then we just used Dion's binder strategy. I just emailed it out to everyone that lived in the property, and then
nice.
I sat down and talked with them one on one, or they just emailed me back what would work for them. But we brought that one from like 8,500 a month up to about 11,500 a month. So
You
it's
made $3,000 from Dion's binder strategy?
yeah, and I haven't taken his course yet, so I feel a little bad.
No, Dion, $3,000, buddy. If you watch this, $3,000, good for you. Again, what is that? You started 8,500 up three. That's like 25% increase.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and actually the property went up about 50% or so. We had it reappraised so we could get a credit line because I was doing
sure.
more work to the property, and we had bought it for 775. I just had it appraised last month for 1.14, and that
There
was
you go.
between September and last month.
Damn. That's how, I mean, commercial is really interesting because, again, it's unlike residential, which is based on comps and all of that. It's based on NOI. And if you could jack your NOI up, i.e., rents go up three freaking grand, that is going to add a lot of value.
Yeah, just take 36,000 divided by 7%. I mean, there you go.
And again, this is why people go to commercial. So that's where you're sitting at today. You got a 12 unit where you have a partner on. You got a triplex that you're the owner of. Where do you go next? What excites you now?
So I'm trying to build up the property management and agent piece a little bit more this year and then just stabilize because I just did for a year and a half, I bought 15 units in total
Yep.
and then I've just been spending money like crazy just trying to fix everything.
Yeah,
So I want to start getting paid from the 12plex because we've just been replacing
yeah,
AC units. All of our AC units were from 95, but it is
yeah.
what it is.
I've been there. I've been there. Yeah.
I'm thinking
Okay.
property management and agent though is really what I'm trying to dig into and then find that next like 20 to 30 unit. I'm trying to
Okay.
slowly go up instead of just going and buying a 50 unit or something like
Yeah.
that.
I don't think you were at our ORaaT event last year in Vegas. You weren't there, right?
I was
Oh,
this
you were.
year.
Oh, you were there this year. Okay. So there's a guy there I should probably connect you with. I gave him a belt. His name was Brad. He's a really tall guy. The reason I don't want to introduce you to Brad is because he was you 15 years ago. He was just
Hmm.
a young hustler. He was a painter, actually. And ultimately, he bought a property management company. He took it from a couple hundred units to 10,000 plus units. He went from owning a couple of units to owning hundreds of units. And, I think what you're trying to build here, getting your license, probably becoming a broker, becoming a property manager, is something that you could either go down that path and get absorbed with the day to day, or you could do what Brad did is hire those people and then he cherry picks on top, which allowed him to focus on maximum revenue. So I think there's probably an introduction to be made. But yeah, I think what you're doing is fun and you found your passion. So that's always fun.
Yeah, I like once I had the money saved, I thought it was pretty sweet because I kind of speed ran. I know everybody always talks about like it's a 10-year journey, and I did start in 2021 saving, so it has already been 4 years. It's going
Yeah,
on like four and a half.
for sure.
But it one like from my first property to now, it's about a year and 8 months or so, and I'm already like out of the W-2, just doing agent and contractor work. I'm wanting to do property management and just keep growing from here.
Yeah, I think there's a lot there for you. Obviously, you're a part of the school community. Just being that person inside school. One thing you might want to think about, and you might just want to spin up an Indianapolis, accountability group or something. Because I know there's a lot of people that want to invest. I think if you just throw it out there, I think Friday right now is open on the calendar. Like there's nobody there. Some weeks probably nobody shows up, but all you need is one or two people, and they can ask questions, they can ask cross streets, I think it'd be a good way for you to, because again, this school community is now well over 400. It'll be 1,000 before you know it. So just building that history and reputation might be an interesting thing to think about, Dylan.
That's awesome. One other thing I was talking to some of the other members about is
Yep.
I know a lot of what we do is real estate focused, but not everything everyone does is real estate focused. Like,
True.
I thought it would be really interesting to have a school, not a school community, a accountability group for things that aren't real estate related.
Go for it.
Yeah,
Go
hey,
for it.
like, hey, you said you were going to go to the gym 3 times a week. Did you do that? And just
Yeah.
got everybody's goals,
Yeah, I'm on a health kick. I'm willing to anything that makes people better. Finance, health, relationships. If there's somebody in our community that wants to take a shot at that, I typically ask people to get a co-sponsor because you'll be busy sometimes and they can fill in for you because I don't like to see cancellations. But yeah, if you want to send me a few ideas, I'll give a thumbs up, thumbs down. But yeah, find somebody to go with you and very likely get a yes answer.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll do that.
Nice. Well, if somebody wanted to reach out to you and ask questions about Indianapolis, how do you want them to reach out?
So my Instagram is just my name together. So just Dylan Pettijohn. I'm also on YouTube. You can find me there too. I have some stuff going over the properties that I bought actually.
Nice.
It's a little bit older. I need to post more. But yeah, I'm there too. And if you're going to join the school community, just shoot me a text.
There you go. Awesome, Dylan. You're amazing. Congratulations. I look forward to watching you grow over the next 10 years. Should be fun.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Michael.
Of course.